General.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I will take interventions. I don't refuse it. I was just asking if he'd be patient. But let me deal with that point now. The government was considering asking that the indicative vote process continue this morning so that we could have brought a motion this afternoon or this evening. And the question was, that's it. No, I won't. That's exactly what the thinking was. That's exactly what the thinking was. There is no desire by this government to interfere with the process that the House is currently undergoing. On the contrary, the motion acknowledges it and notes it, and I will come to it, if I may, in due course. Mr. Speaker, the minimum necessary to secure our legal right to an extension, therefore, is that this withdrawal agreement is approved. And all negotiated exits that any member of this House might conjecture or dream of will require this withdrawal agreement. Therefore, the House has before it a clear choice this morning. It can either approve this withdrawal agreement, knowing that by doing so it secures its right to an extension, or it can have declined to do so and know, in doing so, that by next week there will be no right to an extension, that any extension applied for will require some clear indication of the pathway forward and a stable majority behind it, and thirdly, that it is subject to the veto of those 27 member states. Now that brings me, Mr. Speaker, I will in due course, that brings me, Mr. Speaker, to the motion before the House. This motion sets out clearly that it is not a meaningful vote. Pursuant to Section 13(1)(b) of the Act, it is designed solely to give the opportunity to this House of taking advantage of the right that we have in international law. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, it could not be a vote under Section 13(1) subsection 1, precisely because, Mr. Speaker, you have ruled, a ruling the government fully respects, that a meaningful vote cannot be brought back while it poses the same or substantially the same question to this House. Therefore, this motion has been designed to comply with your ruling, Mr. Speaker, and in complying with that ruling, it cannot comply with the requirements of Section 13 of the Withdrawal Act. Therefore, we put before the House the choice that the House faces today. What this choice will mean is that it will bring certainty to thousands of businesses and millions of individual citizens throughout this country, and to 1 million citizens of our country residing in the European Union. Now, Mr. Speaker, that is a not inconsiderable benefit. That certainty will be because, by taking the step of approving the withdrawal agreement today, it will set out a clear and certain pathway to our departure from the European Union. But let me come now to the political declaration. Now, I won't give way now, but I will give way to members in due course. I want to set out the choice before the House. As the motion acknowledges, the political declaration is open to change. The Union has accepted that it is open to negotiating change and that it will consent to discuss it. And so the House is undergoing a process at the moment of seeing whether a stable majority can be found for any political solution for the future. Of course, Mr. Speaker, the government respects that process. It acknowledges that it is continuing. It accepts, therefore, that further steps will be necessary to approve the political declaration in this House. This House will have to ratify not only the withdrawal agreement, but also the political declaration. And so the government will give consideration as to precisely how the full package will be approved with the political declaration. But one option for the House will be to introduce the EU withdrawal implementation bill, agreement bill, before this House. And if this agreement is approved today, the government will introduce the bill within the next few days. I give way to the honourable gentleman.